was not good. The Hawks lose 5-1 to the Washington Capitals tonight in the United Center. Rough game by the Blackhawks, rough game for a lot of the team because it was a flu-riddled Hawks roster. They did not have Spencer Knight. They did not have Arvid Soderblom. They did not have Ilya Mikheyev. Nick Foligno was sick this morning, missed morning skate, but played. Not ideal conditions for the Chicago Blackhawks, especially with how the ice conditions were tonight, because last night the Bulls played at the United Center. Well, their game got postponed because of all the humidity in the city, causing the ice to kind of melt and evaporate underneath the floor for the Bulls. So it was not an ideal day to play. Connor Bedard makes his return to the lineup. He played pretty well for missing a few weeks of hockey. But the Hawks, having a rookie goaltender who's only now played his third game in the NHL, and Drew Commesso, not ideal going against a experienced team in the Washington Capitals. Shots on goal, 6-10 in the first period in favor for your Blackhawks, 10-6 in favor for the Capitals in the second period, 8-8 in the third period. Total shots on goal, 24-24. Hawks did go 1-for-4 on the power play to the Capitals going 0-for-3. Special teams remained solid for the Hawks, but Kevin Korchinski makes a season debut. He had a really rough game tonight. Drew Commesso let in some soft goals, but you really can't fault a young goaltender in this situation, especially with the fact there's an e-bug on the bench. This was a rough game. The flu has hit the Hawks, and I hope the players are going to be okay to be back tomorrow, because they play again in less than 24 hours in Nashville. So let's get into this. In the first period of play, it was all Washington. Yes, the Hawks outshot the Washington and had a couple power plays, but they weren't able to put them in. And Washington just controlled the play and got the easy goals. 4 minutes and 3 seconds into the first period, Anthony Beauvillier scores his 9th of the season, assisted by Faravari and Carlson to make it a 1-0 game early at 4 minutes into the game. Yes, the former Blackhawk Anthony Beauvillier scores against the Hawks. What's new about that? Nothing, because former Hawks like to play against us. And it remained 1-0 for a good portion of the time. The Hawks had a power play they were generating on. They nearly scored a couple, but they weren't able to put it in. And at 15:07 in the first period, Connor McMichael goes dashing down the ice, gets his 6th of the season, assisted by Ryan Leonard to make it a 2-0 game. Just goes in 5-hole on Commesso, and Kevin Korchinski was kind of looking the wrong way. And then 4 minutes later, at 18:54 in the first period, Ethan Frank scores his 7th of the season, assisted by Carlson and Dowd, to make it a 3-0 game for Washington. I was like, this is not going to be a win tonight. The Hawks win streak does end with how this game was going to play out, because the flu really hurt this roster. We go into the second period, the Hawks down by 3, and the Hawks continue to battle. And they get on the board. They were moving the puck, getting some chances, and then they get a power play about midway through the period. And on the power play at 8:48 in the first period, scored by number 11, Oliver Moore. His 5th of the season, assisted by number 48, Matt Grzelcyk, and number 76, Nick Lourdes, to get the Hawks within 2. Ollie snipes one and beats Thompson high up on going top shelf with this goal by Ollie on the power play. And the Hawks now have some momentum. Nope. because 4 minutes later at 12:38, the Capitals get back to a 3-goal lead. Sharp scores his 9th of the season, assisted by McMichael and Leonard. This was a net front battle, and the Capitals put it in. And a few seconds later, Lardis gets called for a penalty for roughing on Sarth after he hit Moore, and it led to some scrum, but no goal came from it. We go into the third period of play, and it was pretty much Washington just shutting down the Hawks. The Hawks really didn't have much to do. And at 13:33 in the third period, Alex Ovechkin beats Drew Commesso for his 19th of the season, assisted by Bearvey, to make it a 5-1 game. The Hawks really weren't in this game. It just seemed like the flu really rendered this roster dry. Was it nice to see Connor Bedard back in the lineup? Yeah, he did generate some scoring chances, but the Hawks don't prevail, and they lose 5-1 to the Washington Capitals. It was a rough game. Not ideal conditions with the fact we had a goalie making his third appearance in the NHL, Kevin Korchinski getting called up and having a rough game defensively. I do like Korchinski. I think it was just the first game up, and the Hawks are kind of in a weird position with how to put this lineup together. We'll see what happens tomorrow. So down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were on tonight's action. And thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, well, there's another game tomorrow, and hopefully the Hawks feel better.